Which one?
We're going to jump into the meta real quick. Top territories Q1 and Q2 2025. This is from Stacker Stats. Keyan, do you want to explain this? Or you want me to?
You can explain it.
Okay. So there's a new stacker in town. He's doing some stats on territories and their founders and what they're choosing to do. Dude, I found this really informative. I definitely changed a lot of the stuff that we do on the builders territory. Um, it shows the different territories that are profitable, or this one's territories that are profitable and their revenue. Obviously, the Bitcoin one's going to be the most profitable one, and it goes down the list. I think Stacker Sports second. Yeah, Stacker Sports second most profitable one. Then it goes to Lightning and all these other ones. Um, Shows top 20 territories profitability, like what's the break even cost, AMAs, politics and law, Stacker Sports, all that kind of stuff. And then you scroll down. I think this is where it gets really interesting, is when it starts talking about the number of comments, and Stacker Sports just killing it, dude. Killing it so much to where it's even more getting close to where Bitcoin is. And I think that's really fascinating. The guys just do a really good job of engaging on that territory. So hats off to those, to Great Ruby and Undisciplined. And then even Ask SN too. That's another one where I feel like the engagement is just really high in those territories. So I definitely learned a lot just as a territory founder, stuff that I can improve on.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then you go down here. Yeah, so this one gets into like the high and low posting and comment fees and how they're correlated with the actual revenue versus the actual cost to run a territory.
I think he says that they're not correlated.
Oh, they're not correlated? Okay.
Yeah.
Jobs, which is still relatively high.
It's 10K.
10K
to post.
And then we have health and fitness. Obviously, builders is very high. I lowered that threshold after seeing this because I think I came to the realization that it's probably better to be somewhere in the $500, $600, 600 sat range. Fee to comment, music's relatively high here. I don't know the actual cost of music. Health and fitness is another one that's really high.
I think music is 10 sats
10
per
cents.
comment.
Yeah. So it looks like what's Lightning and Stacker Sports, you know?
Maybe they're 2 to 5.
2 sats. Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly everybody's going with 1, it looks like. And then he goes into zaps per post. AMAs get a lot, obviously. Builders holds its own. I think that's because of the high post threshold. And then you kind of go to these other ones, and I think that's what we're seeing there. Where is that? And it goes into even more stuff. Comments per post, how much comments you get per post. AMAs get the most, meta get the second most. So it's just a lot of, I would love to see another post like this where it goes into like, what's the most optimal, based on all this data, what's the most optimal territory design? What do you need? You know what I mean? Like, what is the most optimal territory design based on all this data? Per comments, per all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I would guess that you probably want to be, I would say you probably want to be at something. That's what I would do, is I would do 30 sats per post. That's what I do on the territories that I run. And then, 2 to probably like 2 sats for comments. And then you want a lot of good content. So there's zapping, because you make 70% of 30% of zaps. You make 21% of all zaps that happen in your territory. So I would optimize my territory for content and, encouraging more content, and bringing more, which would bring more attention to it. And hopefully the content is good enough that it brings in a lot of zaps so that I make 21% on the zaps. That's the way I would design it. But you want to avoid people posting content in your territory. That's one of the downsides of having a low posting cost, is people will post content in your territory that you don't want to be there. So like builders has a very specific lane. And so you don't want people swerving into it. Bitcoin gets sometimes pretty random stuff in it, which is kind of lame and you don't like it, but it's worth it so that it attracts people posting good Bitcoin stuff when they don't want to have to spend many sats. So it's kind of up to you, but the higher posting costs will mean you have less content, fewer zaps, but you'll have a more focused
So yeah, so
territory.
like based off of this, it looks like the revenue from Zaps looks like health and fitness and Stacker.News looks like the most optimal based off of what I've seen off of all this data.
Mm.
Stacker.News and health and fitness look like the most optimal place you want to be. Obviously, Stacker Sports are killing it, and I think Bitcoin is killing it. And I think if you're one of these smaller ones, like you know, like myself and some of these other
Books and
territory founders,
articles?
like it's going to be
How
tough.
does books and articles stack up?
Where is that at? Here on this side? Yeah, I would include them too as well.
Because I can't see. Are they up there?
Yeah, they're up here. They're the purple one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. I can talk about this all day, but check it out, Stackers. Anyways, just want to share that. Keyan, you got any other thoughts? Jana, do you have any thoughts?
Well, this makes me think of a Scoresby post that also came from this week about using a writer using a territory as their newsletter. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just kind of an interesting like thought exercise and like how would that work? Why are newsletters sucky? Which I agree with all of his points about that. And just using a territory as like your own personal like curation, but also like inviting conversations. It has all the infrastructure there that you might need.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be fitting with some of our plans. We've gotten similar inquiries before about limiting the people that you can invite to a territory,
Right. Okay.
so that you can have a small group of friends there discussing things.
Totally. Yeah.
But
that.
you can keep that group to size 1 of you and have your posts there maybe.
Dang.
Yeah. But I need to read all the comments on that post because
It's really cool.
Thought about
I
it.
even think at some point you could even see like a territory founders territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go super meta.
Yeah, you could even see that to where it's just like optimized for.
That's kind of what Stacker Stats is, though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could even see that to where it's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm super bullish on territories long term.
But yeah, it also makes me just kind of be like, remember Stacker.News pre-territories?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember when
Those
it
are good old
launched, I was
days.
like, remember we were all like, I remember that day when you launched, I was like, dude, this is going to change
Changes
everything.
Yeah, then we spent 2 years on wallets.
Yeah.
2 years going non-custodial.
Yeah, well, you didn't see that coming, but
Yeah.
anyways.